The first place Mets, they got another series win on Sundays. They cut down the Cubs 6-2 this afternoon. They take 2 out of 3 against Chicago. So let's talk about the Mets. We're going to do it with the host of the Subway to Shea podcast. My guy, Anthony Rivera, joins me now. Anthony, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a series win, and that's always what I like. I like to get the series in. The last couple of times we've been talking, we've been in good spirits as this team keeps rising and rising.
We have. Look, good spirits. It's a good place to be if you're a Mets fan. Orange and blue skies on the Mets side, and things looking good. So, Anthony, when you look at this series, what stood out to you the most about this series win against the Cubs, especially with how the Mets responded after dropping the middle game of the 3-game set? What stood out to you the most in this series?
I think that's the thing that you just said, responded, how they responded. And we've talked about this multiple times in the past of how important it is for this team to come away even after a big loss, a frustrating loss on Saturday, and come back and win the next game. And that's something that Carlos Mendoza has really instilled in this Mets team since last season. Take every hard loss, put it aside, and get ready to go for the next game. And that's what they did. They won. They eventually win in convincing fashion, winning 6-2. And it's great to see that this team is able to do that, put the losses in the back burner, and concentrate on the next game and actually win the next game as well.
Yeah, moving forward, bouncing back. Mets have shown that throughout this season. You got to like that bounce back ability. And speaking of bouncing back, Baty, he looks like he's bouncing back right now. Homer twice this weekend, showing some signs of turning it around at the plate since coming back up. How much of a boost do you think a confident Baty can provide this lineup going forward?
Oh, it's huge. It is absolutely huge, especially with the bottom of the lineup not being as strong as it is, especially at the plate. You need Brett Baty not only to gain confidence in himself, but for the manager to gain confidence in him to keep on putting him in the game. His last 15 games, batting .289, has 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. That's big for this Mets team who, need the power, especially when you're not getting as much power from that bottom of the lineup. If Brett Baty can provide that, he's going to be sticking with this team throughout the summer.
That would be huge for the Mets to cash in on his ability here with the big club. And overall, we've seen a recent uptick in the offense, Anthony, in terms of the offensive production in the lineup, right? We talk about Brett Baty. Mark Vientos has started to come around as well here. Are you more impressed with the recent uptick in the offensive production, or is it the way that the pitching staff has managed to cool off hot opposing lineups like we saw with the Cubs this week? And the Cubs came in swinging hot bats. Pitching staff shuts them down, holds them to limited runs. What's more impressive for you right now, the guys turning it around on offense or the Mets pitching?
I think it's got to be the pitching staff. I think for me, it's always going to be the pitching staff because this is a pitching staff coming in, losing their top 2 pitchers in Montas and Minaya, not being able to have them into the rotation from the start. You have Clay Holmes, who's converting from becoming a reliever. Look at Griffin Canning and how well he's pitched. I think Griffin Canning and Clay Holmes are a combined 10-2 this season. Griffin Canning today gave 7 innings, only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and struck out 5. This pitching lab has been amazing with these starters. I know they're not giving as much length, although we got 6 innings today, but this starting staff has limited the runs. Even home runs has been limited. There's been a struggle for this team in the past. So I'm always impressed with how the pitching does. They're going to have to keep it up, especially with the bullpen. You kind of seeing a little this bullpen getting a little bit tired, but hopefully they will get back and be on pace as they've been this whole season. And then when you talk about the offense, you mentioned Mark Vientos, so I kind of want to zone in on him on the offense. Over the last 15 games for him, batting .321, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 5 walks. So if we can get Mark Vientos going, especially with his power, you have Soto, Alonso, Lindor, who had a big home run, what eventually became the game-winning home run, and then Brett Baty hitting with power. I mean, this team, this lineup, it's going to be pretty scary to see.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary. And the pitching has been really, really impressive, as you've noted throughout the season. Can only get better and healthier as they keep going. Now, next up for the Metropolitans, the Pirates, they come to town to start a 3-game series on Monday night. Then it's a big showdown, Subway Series at Yankee Stadium next weekend. With the Mets gaining momentum, Anthony, what are you keeping your eye on with the team this week? I know you're excited about that series next weekend in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, with the Pirates, I definitely want to see Paul Skeens and how the Mets lineup is able to react to him. He's a star in this league and an ace type pitcher. So I want to see how this lineup does against him. And when you talk about the Subway Series, we talked about this off air, how important it is to have both teams playing so well when it comes to the Subway Series. It just brings another level to this whole rivalry, this Subway Series rivalry, this New York rivalry. And you add the whole Juan Soto storyline to it, and it's gonna make for a big weekend. I hope Juan Soto has a big weekend. If you want to go off on any weekend, Juan Soto, this is the weekend to do it against the New York Yankees in the Bronx.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Some Juan Soto fireworks in the Bronx. I know Yankees fans will not be happy about that, but the Mets fans will. But this is why the games next weekend are going to be really fun. Still some games to be played before we get to that Subway Series. Mets and Yankees both looking good in first place. The Mets picking up another series win on Sunday with a 6-2 victory over the Chicago Cubs. That is Anthony Rivera. Check him out on Subway to Shea Podcast. It's a good one for you Mets fans out there. Please check that out. Subscribe and all that good stuff. Anthony, always a pleasure to talk to you. I will check in with you next week to see how you're doing at the end of the Subway Series, and hopefully the good vibes keep going.
Hopefully, it's a lot of smiles like this weekend.
Hopefully. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Dexter.
Go. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate you. Thanks for hitting me up, and
Of course.
have a great rest of your. Well, we've only got a couple hours for this weekend, but have a good week, and hopefully the Knicks pull this off.
I hope so. It'll be a fun week. A Knicks series victory going to Subway Series would be very nice. I would sign for that right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend. We'll talk soon. Okay,
Thanks.
brother? All right.
Will do.
Yes,
Later.
sir.